The refugee law has affected my life so much because I've been denied the access to go to public university. I've not been employed, and also it has been hard for us to survive because we have also been denied the access to start our own businesses. We are having issues of insecurities because you can't move in the camp in the night. When this new law comes into shape, for my side, a lot of things will change. And for the community, first of all, I'll have access to go to the public university. I'll be able to open my businesses, which means that I'll also be able to be employed.
The schools which are there, they are not enough to accommodate everyone who is in need of education. And for those that they are existing, some of them they are sitting down on the floor. Others they don't have floor, others sitting on the stones. This system which they have introduced concerning education, they call it TCM, Teachers Council of Malawi, whereby it has been said that any teacher who does not have a license is not supposed to teach. Some of refugees graduate from their original homes, but when they are here, they are saying that no, we don't recognize those documents. So it has been challenges whereby they are even threatening, saying that they end up closing. These are the private schools. Imagine if they happen to close those schools just because these teachers, they don't have license. And it's not like we are not qualified. We are qualified. So the problem is that they are not recognizing their qualifications. Classes which we use in the camp, the rooms, some of them they are not responding to what the government wants. So there are some of schools, they even ask 2,000 for contribution for each and every child. The funny thing is that there are some of parents who cannot afford even that 2,000. So imagine a parent who has 7 children. Of course, those children, they end up being street kids. Many of them, they are even street kids. They are not going to school. I wish you can come and visit Zaleka, and you see how many children they are starving, how many children they are just found in the roads, those who are not going to school. There are only 2 schools for public. But imagine, are those 2 schools going to accommodate everyone, every child? I see most of children, out of 100%, maybe 60% ending to be victim to childhood marriages and other street kids.
In May 7 is where my CTD got expired. That was 5 years. And after that, I got an invitation to go and attend a meeting in Nairobi, Kenya. That was a meeting concerning the women-led organization. And here in refugee camp Zaleka, I was representing this organization. But I failed to attend it because my passport had expired, and I went to make a renewal, but I was told there are no issuing. So I stayed back. A second chance of the same project for women-led organization came. I was invited again, and I went to Department for Refugees to make a renewal of my passport. They told me I should wait. They are not issuing passport yet. So that was the second opportunity I missed.
In the meeting that we had today, where we had different CSOs and legal practitioners, we also heard from the refugees themselves the challenges that they're facing in the camp. Today we focused on 5 areas, these areas being human trafficking in Dzaleka camp, education challenges for the refugee children, the lack of access to conventional travel documents, or what they also call refugee passports. We also looked at the effects of the current refugee law on the refugees. When you look at all these challenges, you see that they're a big problem because they're infringing the rights of refugees in different ways. We heard from the people that there's a lot of opportunities that they are missing because they don't have the refugee passports. Some are supposed to go to school, but they can't because they don't have the refugee passports. Others are supposed to go and access health services outside the country, but they also cannot travel without that travel document. So we have been advocating for this document, and we like it that in 2024 the travel documents started being issued again, but then the problem that was there is that they reduced the validity from 5 years to 6 months. And that's also a problem because when you're looking at education, you're looking at a longer term stay in outside the country. But if you have 6 months, then it cannot work. So we're still advocating and ensuring that maybe that gets revised so that people can travel freely and come back and improve their livelihoods. As INUA, yes, our role is to ensure that the rights of refugees are upheld, but we cannot do this in a vacuum. We need the support of others in the media, we need the support of others in the legal sector, and even other CSOs, even the government itself. So meeting like this ensures that we have the buy-in from other stakeholders and help them, or we expect that they would also pull in their own directions to ensure that these issues are highlighted and we get solutions in the end. Because we know that when the media write these stories, highlight the challenges, someone out there will see the need to change things where we need to change them.
I think it's a good thing that we've had this engagement in which, CSOs have come together, the media has come together, and other organizations, because refugees are part of the marginalized groups, and it's important that we recognize that they have rights as well, because most of the times we forget that refugees exist, and that shouldn't be the case. So it's a good thing that we've met here, we've had these discussions on the challenges they face and possible solutions that we could employ for them.
There is need to relook at some of the laws that govern how refugees should be handled, how their issues should be managed in the country. A revision of such laws. Personally, I feel like some of the laws that are being used now are old-fashioned, archaic laws that may not be able to apply to the current situation. There is need to change the laws. Another thing is there's also need to strengthen or tighten the enforcement of laws, because I'm learning that some people who are in the country benefiting from the things that refugees are supposed to be benefiting are not actually refugees. So there are people who impersonate refugees and come to Malawi for their own purposes and benefit from the resources that the refugees are supposed to be benefiting from. So there's also need to look into that and strengthen the enforcement of the law. My immediate reaction is that I think there are so many problems that these people are facing, and the problems that they are facing, they are not being assisted well. And some of them don't even know who to trust or where to go with their problems for them to get proper assistance. So that's the main thing that I've learned. Another thing that I've learned is that there are so many human rights violations that they are facing. Things that a human being should not be exposed to, things that take away the dignity of a person, things that inflict pain, mental pain, and also physical pain on someone. To summarize it all, they need immediate action, or they need immediate help for them to come out of the problems that they are facing.
Having been here today and heard what the refugees themselves have said, it's quite sad and informative as well, because we tend to have a perception that refugees are bad people and that they are mostly destructive, but then this event has actually shown me different dimensions to it. And I think as a citizen, it is my duty to respect the human rights that refugees have, because they are also entitled to them the same way I am entitled to them. So I think it is my duty to help them in any way I can, but also helping them also extends to not being one who's perpetrating violations against them. Secondly, as someone who has recently graduated law, I think it is also my duty to assist refugees to know their rights and opportunities that are available to them, because it seems like most of them are not aware of the rights and they're not aware of some of the opportunities that are open to them. So I think it requires advocacy and civic education as well. Yeah.